Now then, people, good afternoon. Welcome back to the one and only play for Leeds United news. It's not the one and only place. It should be the one and only place. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, JUSTJOE. Please do smash me a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Get your comments in. And, of course, hit that notification bell. We got loads of news to get into, really. Mr. Joe. We got loads of news to get into. Hope you're all well. Noah Sadiki, Sam Greenwood, Diarra, the war of words between Joe Donahue and Sasha Tagliafieri. Whose side will you take? Yeah, loads to get into. I hope you're all doing well. I am. Yeah, Danny says smash a like. Leeds United comps, yo. J Racer in the house. Any news on a goalkeeper? Not yet, L. Not yet, my man. Maybe they're looking for a buyer for Mez. I'm not sure. Afternoon, have we got jet washers or people on the ground, Joe? We need both, mate, really. We need jet washers in the air and people on the ground. Danny Talks Leeds is a jet washer, so he will be able to fill us in, no doubt. He's definitely a jet washer, aren't you, Danny? But yeah, we're going to be talking about all the latest transfer news. Let's start with this story. Obviously, this broke yesterday while we were live. And we got excited because, of course, this was on the scouting report. This was Andrea Radrazani. I called him Andrea Radrazani. Oh, my God. He's going to go mad. Andrea Russo. Yeah. Andrea Russo. This was his number one pick in the scouting report. Big up to the lads on the scouting report. And Andrea and Lockie. Leeds United have made contact with USG midfielder Noah Sadiki. Leeds United are shifting gears in the transfer market, and their early activity signals a summer of serious intent. It says, but they are not stopping there. This is according to Sasha Tagliafieri, who, and we saw this live. This was the post in question. Yeah. This was the post in question saying that we are interim. Big up to my main man Mo Halimi. He said you'll have it by Thursday. This is the new intro for 25-26 Premier League back, baby. So let's have a look. Yeah, so big up to you, Mo. Hope you're doing well and cheers, brother. So that's the story in question. Now apparently we've tabled an £8.5 million bid for him. Now I think there has been maybe some wording / because I'm not sure Sasha actually said like more a conversation as such. Let's just have a look at what he officially said again, just to be on the money with that. So he said, Leeds United are first to make a move for Sadiki. The Peacocks have made contact to gauge USG's management with an initial offer. Now, this doesn't mean per se, I don't think, but actually, he doesn't say official, but is it a conversation? Look, what would you say to 8.5 million, which equates to 10 million euros? So that's what went in from our man, Sasha Tagliafieri. Now, Joe Donahue retorted to that today. This was his piece. Leeds have not lodged a bid for RSG midfielder Noah Sadiki, despite reports of an 8.5 million approach. But he is on a list of targets, and the club are working through a number of players simultaneously. Now, I do believe there is something in this working on players simultaneously. The reason I believe that is I'm not sure we get Sadiki and Diarra. The bid's in for Diarra. If Diarra doesn't work, will it be Noah Sadiki? If we get them both, that's amazing. But I don't think. And I agree with what Donny said there. It almost feels like this is a backup to Diarra. Diarra's number one. If he doesn't work, then we're going to go for Noah Sadiki, which would make sense. Now, Joe obviously will have spoke to official channels at the club, press officers, etc. And the line may be, we've not lodged a bid, he's on a list. That was Joe's piece, and we'll have a look. Let's have a read of the piece in question. So Joe Donohue's piece says the club are not understood to have lodged a bid for Belgium champions Royal Union St.Gilloise for the versatile player yet, despite reports. Sources on both sides this is, of a prospective deal have confirmed to the YEP that Leeds have not submitted a bid after a report claiming to be the case emerged on Monday. It says French club Olympique Lyon were also named in the report linking Leeds with the move, although the YEP understands no official approach has been made for the midfielder at this early stage of the window, which totally goes against everything that Sasha had said had happened, right? So, of course, Sasha Taglieri came out swinging. And he does this a lot, to be honest. He does. He's called out Fabrizio Romano when he hasn't, when he hasn't credited him in the past. He don't suffer fools. He's like, listen, I'm telling you. And the big thing about Sasha is what I would say is he's from Belgium. Yeah. Promise David, official and confirmed 1 hour ago, he's staying at Union St.Gilloise. He's going to stay. He is a Belgium-based reporter, and this is where he came out swinging. This was his response, if those who haven't seen it were out on Twitter. So Leeds haven't put a bid in. He goes, they have. He also responded to the article in question, if I can find it. Maybe he's removed that potentially. Let's have a look. I think he might have removed that, has he? Let's have a look just on my profile a sec. Because I did retweet it because I thought it was funny. He has. Well, someone took a screen grab. So basically, he put a laughing emoji and put okay then. Look, I don't see a scenario in which Sasha Taglieri would go as far as to call out Joe Donoghue if he didn't believe it had legs. Like, the YEP would have to toe what the club say. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Sasha is his own man. He probably speaks to agents. He's based in Belgium. Maybe he has a contact at Union St.Gilloise. St.Gilloise, however you pronounce it, USG. So he's obviously confident. The thing is, transfers change all the time, But I think there's something in the club just saying no, we haven't bid, but he's on the list. Do you know what I mean? Because it's out there. It's hard for the club to keep things under wraps when we're in the Premier League because you have top tier journalists. Like Sasha, like Di Marzio, like Fabrizio Romano, and all these other names, Bomber Cross, which is Baron Cross's new name. They don't have an affiliation to the club. And the fact, and I agree with what Tyler says, that Sasha is the main man, especially in Belgium. Definitely. So I don't think he would come out and be as... because if it doesn't... If we haven't bid, then he looks like an idiot, like sort of mocking. The laughing and the okay is a bit of a mock emoji, and it's like, whatever, mate. You run your article. Bullshit is what he's saying. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of that. Now, on the other midfielder, which is, of course, Habib Diarra. We're quite lucky that your man Graham Smith just lodged or just dropped an article just now. So hot off the press. This is obviously talking on the other midfield target or one of the midfield targets, which is Habib Diarra. Now, he was told he can leave. The club president said as much. The Whites have tabled at least one offer. The 21-year-old has 3 years left on his contract, but has in his back pocket a 2023 promise made by the club president that said he could leave, right? Leeds have rated Diarra as less likely addition than some of other midfield targets, due in part to the competition they expect to face for his signature. But an exit from Strasbourg seems inevitable, regardless of Leeds' pursuit and our success. But he spoke previously, and Keller, the sporting director, previously said, there's one player who's due to leave based on a promise I made him 2 years ago, our captain Diarra. He said when he extended his contract, we told him he was extending it, but that he wouldn't leave until June 2025. So if we get an interesting offer for him and for us, he could leave. So, and the fact he's come out and said that, I think that's fair. So he is available. Leeds want to add strength. We've done Mecha. We're so close to getting Bijol done. And though they are yet to officially bid, they look like they want Sadiki. Again, wording different here from, he's on a list, we're not in for him, to Graham Smith's article going, and though they are yet to officially bid, meaning it's going to happen, right? So we'll wait and see, but it all depends on if we get Diarra. I mean, I'd imagine getting Diarra and Sadiki, it shows that Leeds United means some serious business if we were to get both. It will be insane. Now, rightly so, a lot of people, and I think this is where you have to, when the likes of Rob Dorsett at Sky Sports start picking things up, it's like, if we're being honest, Sky Sports are normally like the last to report things, right? From Twitter, because Twitter gets it first, your Ornsteins, etc. But Rob Dorsett, and I think obviously you can put a lot of stock in it, has tweeted out this earlier on. Busy right now, Leeds are. Close to a deal with Jaka Bijol for approx 22 million, which we worked out yesterday, about 18. Now, that does include add-ons, by the way. So the down payment probably is close to 15. 25 million bid for Diarra at Strasbourg, and Leeds also interested in Fulham striker Muniz as one of a number of attacking options. So the wheels are turning. The wheels are definitely turning. That's for sure. Which is a positive, isn't it, from Leeds United's perspective. Obviously, Chris Wilder's been sacked as well, hasn't he? To be honest. So, yeah, we know that Diarra can leave. We'll get into some other stories as well. If we can. I do as well, Sam, if I'm being honest. But imagine we got both. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? It would be nice, but we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see. But Jaka Bijol sounds like it's just a matter of time, by the way. The reason that it didn't get done sooner, he was getting married. He was getting married at the weekend, so that's why it wasn't done over the weekend. Has that been confirmed? I've seen he's been linked. Has it been confirmed? Yeah, it's a bit mad. It's a bit mad that it'll be interesting because do you know what? It's a good case study as to what might have happened had Leeds sacked Farke. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of wanted Farke gone after the first failure. Let's see what Sheffield United do now, because they've gone a different route. What I will say, I don't think Wilder's a Prem manager. Like, what I mean by that is, like, his acquisitions are very Championship-esque. Some of the players, I don't know. We'll see. I think the owners probably want to take some of the power away from the manager. Do you know what I mean? And they supply the players. We saw that in the summer where they signed them to like unknowns based on data, and they never got a look in, did they? So, look, apparently, again, I would take this with a pinch of salt, but we get a lot of these. This is Leeds United lined up Facundo Buonanotte move. Again, I'd be well on board with that. Apparently, Brighton want 25 million euros. So, raid on Sheffield United. Apart from Hamer, I'm not sure. Apart from Hamer, mate. And I think Hamer will be on the list, but way down the list. I think they'll look to a better 10. I'm not saying I do think he's good, by the way, and I wouldn't be against it, but yeah, I think they'll look elsewhere, if I'm honest. But I think he will be on the list. But yeah, Buonanotte works out about 20 million if Leeds United were to go for him. I think Buonanotte needs a permanent move as well, really, to be honest, doesn't he? Because he's just constantly loaned out by Brighton. So maybe there'll come a time where this is the move for him. Big up Jamie Kerr, definitely. Yeah, but he's not as good as Diarra. He's not as good as Sadiki. You know what I mean? So, and we need box-to-box midfielder, don't we? Someone in that mould, someone like a Doucouré. Like these two could easily be considered as like Doucouré lights. Do you know what I mean? Doucouré is a beast, by the way. He's so underrated. Whenever I watch him, I'm so impressed with him. So like that's what these are, right? Yeah, the fixtures thing, we'll see. We'll see what the crack is with that. Obviously, more will be revealed tomorrow at 8:30. I'll be live. Well, 9 o'clock it comes out, but I'll be there. He hasn't, Stuart, not for a long time. But Jaka Bijol, soon to be announced, a Leeds player. Look, we're looking at left backs. There was a name that was mentioned on Wacko that was doing the rounds. I forget his name now. Someone messaged me earlier. We spoke about Tagliafico as well. Good stuff, my man. I'll tell you what we are going to do as well. We are going to bring in a Slovenian football expert who's going to tell us about Jaka Bijol as well. So I'm excited to do that. Yeah, Slovenian, not Slovakian, by the way. I've noticed some Twitter posts have gone out with a Slovakian flag on. He's Slovenian, by the way. Goodmanson, that was it. Yeah, again, that was mentioned on Wacko. They got Jaka Bijol. To be fair, they mentioned Bijol weeks back. So if it's from the same guy, maybe you put a lot of stock in that. But we'll be joined by a Slovenian football expert. What I say by that, a Twitter account that is all about Slovenian football. So I'm interested to see his take on Jaka Bijol. See what he says. Yeah, so we'll hopefully see him in just a sec. And we'll get into that. I think he gained a host of followers after the news on Bijol yesterday, because Leeds always take more. Here again is just that confirmation. Same guy that mentioned Mecha on Wacko. When was his mention of Mecha? There you go. I don't have Wacko. It's not for me. I get grief on there as well, I think. He can leave. President explains condition to sell player after Leeds United offer. I still think we don't get Diarra because surely it'd have moved on. The owner's saying he can leave. Leeds United have bid. Why ain't he confirmed? Why haven't we had here we go? You know what I mean? Well, there you go. So take a lot of stock in what my man says. Take a lot of stock in what he says. This is not true, Martin, and I'll tell you why. For anyone who thinks them links are true, they're not, because on that leaked thing, Manchester United and Manchester City play their first 3 home games all on the same day. That doesn't happen logistically. If you have a look at the fixture list, the first 2 they're away. The first 2 they're both away. Then they're at home. Then they're away together. It just doesn't happen. Logistically, it'd be a nightmare for the police, for the transport links and everything. So that link, that drop is totally wrong, because the Manchester clubs do not play each other at home. I think it's only happened once before, and that was when one had a Carabao Cup tie and the other was playing in the league. But outside of that, it just doesn't happen, man. It's like, to be honest, they don't have Newcastle and Sunderland normally playing at home. They wouldn't have Arsenal and Tottenham playing at home. It just doesn't happen. They won't have both Sheffield clubs playing at home, because logistically it's a nightmare. So I'm not. Maybe the Leeds fixtures are right. I don't think they are, though, because the rest of them fixtures show Manchester United both playing at home on the first 3 games, which just doesn't happen, does it? So yeah. Yeah, well, there you go. They don't even put us and Huddersfield on. Yeah, exactly. So, well, as confirmed here, that the Diarra can leave if a price is met. Team Talk, James Marshman's done a bit of a roundup on the latest Leeds United transfer news. Indeed, the next signing at Ellen Road could well... Oh, no, Max Aaron isn't coming. where does these come from? He'll go Rangers, to be honest. I do think. Do you know what I think's happening quite a lot as well? I do think that a lot of players or managers even that are linked to Leeds are actually Rangers. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like, but yeah, this is the team talk. What they're saying, they're talking about Jaka Bijol. Leeds transfers Fulham striker, which of course is Rodrigo Muniz. Saints midfielder, again, it's all opinion pieces. I haven't seen us solidly linked to Fernandes yet. I do think he'll lead Southampton though, and which I assume will be Max Aarons. But without further ado, let's bring in Nick. Nick is Slovenian. Not Slovakian, folks. Remember, you get this right. Football aficionado. So he's going to tell us about Jaka Bijol. Where are we? There we go. Boom. Nick, how are you, my man?
Hello, I'm good. And you?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. I'm excited by the signing of Jaka Bijol. And I saw from your... Am I saying it right, first and foremost?
Yeah. Jaka Bijol. Perfect.
My pronunciation's bad, so I'm proud of myself for that. I noticed you were excited because it's a Slovenian player playing in the Premier League. You've watched a lot of him. Obviously, I've seen you were at international tournaments, etc., following the nation. So talk to me about what Leeds United fans can expect from Bijol next season.
Well, he's like a really big guy in the middle of the defense. Like in the national team, he's always like the guy that commands everyone. Like even in the national team games where there weren't as many fans, and you could hear like the players talking as well, he was always like the loudest guy. Like he is like the captain, if you will. That's why he was also the captain at Udinese, and when Oblak isn't playing in the national team as well. And yeah, he loves to tackle, sometimes a bit too much, but yeah. Let's not talk about that if we're being positive, but that's probably one of the only things that I would say isn't that good, but because he sometimes like gets a yellow that maybe he should, but other than that, like he's a really, really good guy and a really, really strong defender, and he takes care of things at the back, like and he played in midfield before in his younger years at CSK and in Hanover, so he also can play on the ball, which is also a very positive thing, I think.
Yeah, one of his key attributes that we've seen or that's been mentioned is his distribution. His balls out from the back, his balls up to the front man. Is that something that's, I guess he's got that from playing in midfield as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's where it comes from, of course. Like we've seen him do it quite a few times with the national teams where he just somehow sent a long ball forward and it just worked, which was like, you don't expect that really from a center back, but yeah, he has that in his locker, yeah, which is really good.
Yeah, definitely. One of the key things, or one of the things that I was told from a friend of mine who's Italian, who watches Italian football, that maybe there's question marks over his pace. Is he the quickest, Nick?
I wouldn't say. Yeah, I mean, I think he's quite right about that. Like, he isn't like your crazy speedy center back. Like, he's not the quickest. So that might be a little one thing that maybe he lacks. But it's also like, it also depends on the style that the team plays. Like in Slovenia, of course, that was a lot less of a problem because we play a bit further back, especially at the Euros. You saw against England and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We played from we defended all the time basically, and it worked for us and it worked for him as well, which was perfect. Then if it's a team that likes to play on the ball like very far forward, like I don't know, if it was like a Barcelona, he probably struggle quite a bit. So
yeah, I think what we're seeing, obviously, with the players Leeds United are linked to, I do think there is going to be a change in the way, like in the division below, obviously we dominate possession, we have a lot of the ball. Now in the Premier League, that's going to flip. So having someone who, Sounds like he's got leadership qualities, can command his area, his box. I think one of the most exciting things, and you've probably seen it numerous times, Nick, is his heading, right? So, like, in terms of his touches in the attacking box, he's up there with the best defenders in Europe. So he clearly can read the ball, and I assume you've seen him score a few headed goals.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen him score many.
Okay. He just connects with it, yeah?
But he does do that as well, of course. But it's also a strong part of his game. It's, of course, also it helps in defense as well, to defend the corners and the crosses and stuff like that. So yeah, another good part of him. Are
you surprised to see him transfer to a newly promoted side? Because I've seen a lot, and you can be honest, it's okay. I know this is a Leeds channel, but I've seen a lot of people say he should be going to maybe a higher up club. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm not so sure he should have gone to a club that's much higher up, because like there were a lot of talks already last summer, and then nothing happened in the end after the Euros. So as soon as that happened, I was like, okay, I think that last summer everyone expected a little bit too much, and everyone was like on that Euro hype, and maybe even Udinese wanted too much as well for him.
Yeah.
And I think this is like kind of a perfect fit. It is still a much stronger league, even comparing Leeds to Udinese is like Leeds is still like a bigger club. It's still a big step up. So I think it's also good for his career, because I don't think it would be smart to go from Udinese in the Serie A to some big club, even though he was linked with like Milan and
I've seen that. Roma,
like
some other clubs.
Yeah, but I think it's good that finally one of the Slovenian players doesn't just stick in the Serie A and then waste his career there, kind of.
Yeah. I saw from a Slovenian perspective, is there a lot of excitement about a Slovenian being in the Premier League?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, we haven't had one since, what was it, 2018, I think, or something like that. And even that, it was Goran Stankovic playing for Huddersfield. So,
not good. And this is only our second Slovenian player as well. I think we had Zam Benedici. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Some time ago. I think he only made one appearance though. So yeah, not great. Yeah. No, exactly. I think, to be honest, having looked at Bijol and how you speak about him, I think he's going to end up being a fan favourite at Leeds United, just because he's no nonsense. He's just going to head anything that moves. He's going to be big. He's going to be physical. So, I'm excited for it. I guess, do you believe then, Nick, that he's going to be a success in the Premier League? You think it's going to work?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he will be a nice player for you guys. I hope that finally the teams coming up stay up, and that he makes like a good impression, and that he helps you do well in the league. So yeah,
let's hope so, mate. Let's hope so. The chat are asking, mate, just out of interest, Nick, who do you support?
Who do I support? I'm trying to be as neutral as I can, because I'm a football referee as well. So
okay. So are you a referee at a certain level?
The third division in Slovenia.
Oh, so, nice. Yeah. Do you have a favorite English team, or is it Leeds now?
Now it's Leeds, of course.
Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. That's all you have to share.
Yeah. Before it, my dad is a Liverpool fan. I was never as big of a fan as he is, but yeah, that was the only team in England that's in the family. We kind of cared about, but other than that, I didn't really.
Now
care.
It's Leeds, man.
Now it's Leeds.
Nick, can you tell people where? Because I know you've had quite an increase in your following as well. Do you want to just tell people what you do on the Twitter? I'll tag it in the chat as well, so people can go and give you a follow.
Yeah, it's just a nice little Twitter account that I started running a couple of years ago when I was like, okay, we should tell people about our small league and our small
Yeah.
nation. So I just tweet about our first division and our national team mainly, and then some random stuff on the side. But yeah, that's what it is, like kind of to tell people in English what's happening in a smaller league in Europe.
Definitely. And like you said, mate, I seen your picture where you put joining Leeds and getting married in the same week. Jaka Bijol is winning in life. So yeah, it's it's amazing. So I know Leeds fans will support you. So folks, click that link there and go show some love to Nick. And Nick, thank you for keeping for coming on. And no doubt when it's international time, we know where we can come to find out how Jaka's doing and stuff. So Nick, thank you very much, mate.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and see you soon.
Okay, bye-bye, mate. There we go. That was Nick, great guy, and said all what we want to hear, right? About Jaka Bijol. So that's I should have maybe learnt some Slovenian, and then I could maybe said bye before. But yeah, love that. Chill. Yeah, so cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, a lot of love for Nick in the chat, which is nice to see. It was nice for him to give up his time and come on and tell us about Jaka Bijol. Big up to Andrea as well, who sort of directed me his way and said, get him on, have a chat. So that's great to be able to do that. And then Nick, if you're still watching, thank you very much, my man. That was great. So thank you for doing that for me. So yeah, back to the news stories that we were touching on. The Max Aaron's Sky Sports just confirmed Diarra talks. Is that on the news? I assume that's just on the back of, on the back of the Rob Dorset stuff. Sky Sports are always a couple of days behind now. Do you remember before we would always watch Sky Sports News and that was where you got all your news? Ever since Twitter, it all changed, didn't it? Nick, the adopted Yorkshireman, yeah. The Yorkshire Slovenian, that's what he is. The 49ers now reach agreement, sign 18 plus million star with deal done. Of course, that is about our man Jaka Bijol, who we've just been speaking about. I think one of the most exciting things with that leadership that he's spoke about there, Nick, and how, do you know what it's like? And look, I don't want to say he's because to be honest, I thought we overgassed his footballing ability. But I'm getting Pontus Jansson on Royd vibes. Now, that genuinely isn't meant as it, because look, at the end of the day, Pontus, there, Jamie Kerr's just said it as well. Pontus Jansson came in at a time, he came in on loan and he came in and he was a player that we needed and we really got behind, right? And I was going to games at that point and he had that passion and that. In the end, his ego got bigger than the fucking squad, if we're being totally honest, sitting on his own and doing all that vibe and disobeying Bielsa and telling I got Brentford promoted and all that sort of stuff. His ego got the better of him, right? But when he first came in and for a period of time, he was unbelievable. And he would put everything on the court, Yeah, Jamie, you're right. That's what we needed at that time. Now, Jaka Bijol is that, I think. He could be that. Do you know what I mean? Because Rodon, people think he's a leader, but he's not. Like, he seems to be quite reserved. He moans a lot. He whinges a lot. I think Bijol's going to be that guy of like, fuck. Do you know what I mean? I think he would probably have a go at Mez. If Mez, you know what I mean? Instead of being like, throwing the hands up in the air kind of vibe. So that's what I'm getting. Not from a footballing ability perspective, because Jansson was limited. Although he went to play in the Premier League and he was at Bournemouth and Brentford. Sorry, not Bournemouth, but yeah. He was, but in the end, a little bit overrated. But hey, Mick T, hit the lights, folks. But yeah, we've got Pontus Jansson, Kyle Bartley, Joe Rodon, Jaka Bijol. That's where we're at. I got his name right as well. Get up, man. Mr. Dodo member for 16 months, legend. What's this then here by... Right, okay. So This is from Kyle Newbold. Let's have a look at this story. This is Leeds United are thought to have expressed an interest in the striker we know about, right? This is Rodrigo Muniz. Again, this is an opinion piece. You can get pulled in. Lee Hendry expects. So basically, a transfer publication has spoke to Lee Hendry and said, what do you think about this transfer? That's what that is. I've done them before. But yeah, there's no way we pay 50 million for him. Not a cat in. Listen, I like Rodrigo Muniz, but if we paid 50 million for him, no. I'd rather go into the season with what we've got than pay 50 million for Muniz, if I'm honest. Here we go. Leeds back to go out and sign powerful Premier League striker on one key condition. This, of course, will be Muniz. And again, it's Lee Hendry. This is what happens, folks. Just to give you a sort of little look behind the curtain, right? They will sit down. They'll be paid for their time, and then they will fire stories at them. I've had it myself. So they will go, what do you think of Rodrigo Muniz move to Leeds? And then they'll just speak on it, and the guys will type it out. And then on the back of that, they make stories. So that's why you'll be seeing that all the time. And probably Lee Hendry's probably been paid, I don't know. They paid me 50 quid for 15 minutes. What's Lee Hendry getting? Much more than that. Do you know what I mean? I said, yeah, 50 quid to answer some questions. Thank you. I'm only being honest with you, you know what I mean? That's the facts. But Lee Hendry's not doing it for 50 quid, is he? Mad. Yeah, 100%. Rinse, repeat. That's what happens. It won't be true anyway, the 50 million figure. There's no way. They know they're not going to get that. They know they're not going to get that. What's this? Should leave. Club president makes big announcement. Again, that is... mate, this is... Bro, come on. If someone said that, you were taking it. I love this by Dylan. I believe in Lee Hendry. I believe in Lee Hendry. Let's go. Yes, so again, this is the Strasbourg president saying he will go. If the money's right, he will go, because that's what Chelsea and Strasbourg do. Seen this guy Noah on YouTube, not very good. Yeah, I know you were, bro. No, I disagree, Richard. I can give you loads of example of where he is very good. But again, the proof will be in the pudding. Leeds United exciting next targets after Jaka Bijol. And again, this is Diarra. See what I mean? They don't half get the thing out of it. What's this? Leeds given 22 million transfer green light. Oh, Diarra again. This is what, bam, it's just constant. So, like, journalists will have a go at YouTubers and say, like, oh, we're not YouTubers and all that sort of stuff. But really? What's that? It's all the same. So, yeah. I'm going to watch when you take shots. Diarra, Muniz, and Fofana, please. Yeah, nah, not happening, Fofana. Muniz could, Beto could. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? Chris Wilder sacked. Ruben Celeste come in. Be interested to see what Sheffield United fans think of that. There you go. Again, like Isaac Johnson's just tweeted out, the players' camp and Diarra, it still seems a possible hurdle about Leeds, because it doesn't sound like he wants to move. So that's why I think we've maybe gone for the bid, or not, maybe not even an official bid, or just had a conversation with RSG about Noah Sadiki. So we'll have to watch this space, won't we? But folks, that'll be it from me. I'm not sure if I can do the Dortmund Fluminense game yet, so we'll have to wait and see. Are you having a post-season White Rose Rivals? No, we haven't got anything like that planned. Maybe, mate, maybe. To be honest, it's really difficult, John, to schedule in shows like that because anything can happen. You know, I don't want to... I don't I don't want to like set that in because obviously a transfer could happen, and then you're saying to everyone, "Sorry, we have to push it back." Transfer, it's just you've got to be ready at the drop of the hat. Yeah, there it is. Leeds are in talks with Strasbourg over a deal for Habib Diarra, but we know about this. You know, we know about this. Someone says Leeds are getting Europe next season. Yeah, mad. Anyway, listen. Tomorrow I will be live. If I don't see you for rest it day, I'll be live at 8:30 because the fixtures are announced at 9. So I'll see you in the morning. Maybe I'll see you for Dortmund versus Fluminense. I'm not sure yet because I've got to take some calls and I've got to do some important things, so I might not make it, but I'll let you know. Well, you'll know whether it's live or not. So yeah, I'll see you in the morning if that's okay. And yeah, listen, show some love to Nick as well. I'm just going to send you back on over. Go subscribe. Go follow him on Twitter as a thank you for coming on the show. Top guy, and he gave us the download. Anyway, I'll see you in a bit. Peace out, folks. Leeds.